Grand Prix, it's truck racing time for the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. And directly here you can see the landmark of the industrial city, the Castle Nevin. And the good news is the fans are back in the stands. We've got this special atmosphere here and we're facing race one. You can see some fans waving. So come on, let's have a look and get a closer look where we are. The trucks already there, getting ready for their positions. And we're starting here ahead of a race one. A little bit delayed because due to weather conditions. And as you have seen, if you've seen the qualifying, it was legendary, or Norbert Kisch called it epic. And I hope we're going to see an epic battle here at the Autodrome in Most. Okay.
Thank you very much indeed, and she's very correct indeed. We are going to see an epic battle, a very epic battle indeed here. As you can still see, the track conditions are ever changing here at Autodrome Most. The track's still looking quite wet there from that shot of Norbert Kisch lining up on the grid. But hello everybody, welcome to the first race of the weekend. My name is Chaz Draycott, and I'm going to be giving you the English commentary through the action, not just this weekend, but this season. And this is going to be a phenomenal showdown between Norbert Kisch and Jochen Hahn, two of the real stars of this championship. So quick indeed. And there was actually quite a bit of time between the two of them in qualifying that would lead you to think that this is going to be a one-sided affair. 1.5 seconds faster was Norbert Kisch. You can see his reverse racing truck being very closely looked at there. Fantastic pieces of machinery, these trucks. But everybody's lining up on the grid, ready to go. They will have a green flag lap, which then leads to a rolling start. They don't do standing starts in this championship. But if you did catch us earlier for qualifying, you'll have seen what a fantastic session we had. Superpole itself was red flagged due to horrendous conditions, but due to the nature of this circuit being so long and so narrow geographically, it was raining really hard down at turn 10. But over in the pit lane and on the start-finish straight from turn 16 upwards, it was completely dry. There was no rain whatsoever. Christina got very lucky in the pit lane. She didn't get rained on one bit. Luckily, I'm away remotely commentating on this, so I didn't get any rain either. But it was a very interesting session that left Norbert Kisch on pole position for the third time this season. He is basically put it fastest in every single Superpole session this season. But Christina is back down on the grid with somebody to talk to.
Yes, as you mentioned Norbert Kisch, I thought, well, let's have a look first at the truck. And you mentioned it earlier this day. Look at this hose here at the radiator. Those are some changes here. So the air gets through and they get more cooling. So this might be brand new here to see. And let's have a look what Norbert Kisch might have to tell. He's talking right now to his mechanics. Oh, are you ready? Oh, they are. Thank you very much. So, the pole setter, again, Norbert Kisch. 15 minutes delay due to weather conditions. What do you expect from race one?
For sure it will be difficult, you know, because rain is always hard and it's always unexpected things can happen, you know. So rain race is always a crazy race. So it's difficult, but yeah, obviously we have the rain starting procedure, you know, because we don't have rain tires, so we use the same tires as we use in the dry conditions, which is very easy to aquaplane on. So it's, you know, kind of dangerous. But yeah, it's the start should be okay, and then in the first laps, I need to feel the grip, you know, at the circuit, and then see what I can do, and hopefully it's going to be faster than the other guys.
You can't change the tires, but maybe a bit of air pressure. That's the only thing that you could do. Did you change anything there?
Yeah, well, of course, we use what we usually use in such conditions. So yeah, hopefully we are right.
We saw you've got a new radiator, new cooling system at the front. What is new there?
I think we already had it last year, haven't we? But you know, we just try to make the best cooling we can. And this was the idea, to have a big opening on the front. And yeah, you know, I think it's working quite nice.
Thank you very much. So it's working really nice, he said. Now we keep him in his concentration phase. And Chaz, I think you're very highly concentrated too, aren't you?
I try, but to be honest, with all the fantastic machinery we have on show, I often just end up staring at it, to be honest, Christina. But yes, indeed. Norbert Kish there does have the very different front end on his truck. It's not really something we've seen on a lot of the others. All the teams do tend to try and make sure that they've got some of the best balances when it comes to aerodynamics on the front of the truck. Because let's face it, they still do need all the grip they can get. So if there is any way that you can get some sort of advantage from aerodynamics on the front of these vehicles, then you may as well use it. Obviously, the main difference being between the Freightliners with the long nose on their trucks, the engine's right up at the front, compared to the MANs, the Ivecos, and of course the Scanias as well. The engine's all behind the cabs in those trucks, so a lot of the air needs to be channeled underneath and through the cab, essentially, to cool the engine down. Now there is our wonderful official truck, the fantastic Ford, as I was calling it throughout the weekend at the Hungaroring. And it is a wonderful, wonderful thing to look at, isn't it? It really shows you the difference between these usual trucks and, of course, the racing trucks themselves. You can see a lot of the visual differences between the two of them. And obviously a much slower pace here. Essentially being a bit of a green flag lap as such. But the Ford in its gorgeous metallic blue colour scheme. It was Truck of the Year in 2019, the Ford F-Max. And we spoke at the Hungaroring about the endless hours of testing and the mileage on these things as well that is put in to make sure that they are as good as they can be. And it must be a real pleasure as well to be able to drive such a fantastic vehicle around the circuit like this and not have the pressure of making sure that you put in the fastest lap that you possibly can. Makes life quite a bit easier for them, doesn't it? But you can see, though, that the conditions have not got much better. There is a dry line, of course, on the circuit, but a lot of standing water still on the apexes and even around the outside of the circuit as well. It's hard to see if there will be any manoeuvres made at this point, because a lot of the drivers will have to be so careful all the way around every single lap. But that's what makes this racing so enticing, is the fact that they'll need to all be so careful lap after lap. And you never know if the conditions may change again. You never know how quickly things could either dry up and use up tyres, or at least get even wetter if the rain comes down severely even more. It could really throw things up in the air. And when you do get wet conditions on a racing circuit, you often see a very different bag of talent from all of the drivers. There are certain drivers that just know how to handle wet conditions incredibly well. And they'll just go out there and drive as if it's dry. They'll just know exactly what they need to do. The 30-second board being held up then. Or at least that's the back of the board that says 30 seconds. It could have said something completely different on the other side. But the trucks will be led away by that wonderful machine, the Iveco S-Way, the pace truck, not to be confused with our official truck here in the FIA ETRC. And the field is led away now. And the sound of multiple thousands of horsepower and turbochargers whistle into life. And the first race of the weekend is just around the corner, quite literally. So we'll take a moment to run you through our grid in just a sec. As you can see, the height difference between the Iveco S-Way and the lean that it has compared to our racing trucks. Now, not really to sort of put down the size of these machines, but when you see them in person, you do realize they are a lot smaller than you expect, but at the same time, they're still huge. It's when you see them being launched around a racetrack that you realize how bonkers and how fast they really are. Watching these things drift out of chicanes from a commentary box here in the UK was just unbelievable. Even with 5,000 Newton meters of torque, these things will spin up the rear wheels in the dry and drift out of corners. But Norbert Kisch in the red number 41 Revace racing truck leads us around. Jochen Hahn in the Iveco S-Way is alongside him. Sascha Lenz in truck number 30, the bright green and black machine, makes up row 2 with Antonio Albacete in the 23 machine. Row 3 is made up of number 66, Anthony Janiak, and trust me, you can't miss him. And another fluorescent yellow enthusiast, Adam Lachko, joins him alongside truck 55. Steffi Halm lines up in 7th place in truck 44, alongside Andre Kurzim in the white and yellow number 11 truck. And there is your grid. René Reinert in 9th position, and then blue and green number 77 Iveco, and Theo Calve, the highest placed of the chrome drivers. The two categories, basically Titan and Chrome. And Theo Calve leads all of the chrome drivers. Shane Brereton 11th ahead of Jamie Anderson, the two Brits sharing row 6. Then it's Stefan Faas and Lucas Hahn, son of Jochen, on row 7. Heinrich Clemens Hecker, who celebrated his 40th birthday, starts 15th in truck 25, alongside Elia Koloc, another one making her home race appearance this weekend. And Luke Garrett at the back of the grid in truck number 86. That truck has been competing in multiple truck racing championships around Europe, not just this one, and been doing a pretty sturdy job as well. That is being shared with Tom O'Rourke this season. It was Tom that was racing at the Hungaroring, but Luke Garrett behind the wheel for this one. So the field being paced quite literally now by the pace truck at the front, the Iveco. And we only have a handful of corners left before we get the first race of the weekend underway. Can Norbert Kisch repeat what he did at the Hungaroring and take 2 race victories? There was only 3 races, of course, at the Hungaroring. Race 2 of the weekend getting called off after the huge accident for Stefan Faas at turn 2, where he was absolutely fine. The Iveco S-Way just misses the bollard there on the way into the pits. But round the final corner here at Autodrom Most, we're going to get round 5 of the 2021 FIA European Truck Racing Championship underway. Yellow flag flashing on the gantry. That will go green any second. And it looks to me like we're going to have another not quite green flag lap, are we? The gantry still flashing yellow, the red light's still on there as well. It looks like everybody's going straight at it at racing speed, or are they? Certainly looks like Norbert Kisch is trying to get his foot down. But maybe a bit of confusion there from everyone on the gantry. There's still yellow flags showing there. There's still the yellow illuminated boards flashing away. It looks to me, at least, like everybody's still in grid order as well. So maybe another green flag lap for these guys. I must admit, I know as much as you know right now. It looks to me like Norbert Kisch is absolutely going for it, though. Doesn't seem to be hanging about, does he? Maybe they know something we don't, but he's underway. And he is away at the moment, nearly 0.8 of a second ahead of Jochen Hahn the last time that they crossed any timing beams. I think they might just be keeping the yellow flags out just because it's wet at the moment, so potentially at race pace, but no overtaking. Okay, so yeah, it's confirmed that the first lap is under yellow flag. Apologies, I've only just had the message from that. So the first lap is under yellow flag, no overtaking until the start-finish line. So there we go, there's a replay of the start. Luke Garrett at the back of the field. But Norbert Kish, he's making a run for it at the moment. He thinks, right, they may be able to overtake me on this second lap, but stuff it, I'm gone. I am absolutely gone and up the road, he says. Everybody else following suit at the moment. Main thing is that everybody makes it round. Bit of a drift out of the penultimate corner there from Norbert and from Jochen Hahn as well. Taking a wide line round the final corner to make sure he keeps the speed up. And now we have the green flag on the gantry. And the race is underway and the overtaking can begin. Now watch Sascha Lenz there in the black and bright green machine, chasing down Jochen Hahn. Is he going to be able to make any moves? Norbert Kish still leading then into the chicane. But look at that, Sascha Lenz and Jochen Hahn absolutely glued together at the moment. You can see the angle that these things lean at through the chicane. It's not their natural habitat, is start-stop corners. Antonio Albacete right in there as well behind Sascha Lenz. There is Sascha in the SL Truck Sport machine. This is good for Norbert Kish, though. It means that if these guys all continue to battle behind him and put pressure on one another, then he can disappear up the road with that different, very different front end that Christina was looking at earlier. This is such a momentum-based circuit. As I was talking about during our qualifying broadcast, it goes one way, then the other. So fluidly. You need to really have your momentum about you and ensure that you don't overdo it and try to take one of those corners too quickly, because it puts you out of rhythm for the rest of it. Second, third and fourth doing a fine job at the moment, though. And look at that as well. Just behind Adam Lachko, all over the back of Anthony Janiek in the bright yellow Lion Truck Racing machine. But Norbert Kish is loving these conditions at the moment. And you've got that humongous group behind him. Just a distant memory for him at the moment. And there is the gap. You can see it's nearly 1.5 seconds. You can see everybody making their way through. Still a lot of spray being kicked up as well. The conditions not looking too bright there either. But Norbert Kish holding on then after the first lap at full race pace. You can see them very close to those 6-foot bollards on the exit of the final corner. Now Sascha Lenz pulls out to the right-hand side. He's going to look down the inside of Jochen Hahn into the chicane. But does that mean he's going to be on the outside for the second part of it? Jochen Hahn keeps the truck in the middle of the road. Sascha Lenz just now slots in behind. He thinks better of it. Antonio Albacete very close to the back of him. Then behind, it's Janiek and Lachko. You can hear the crowd going nuts in the background. I think Lachko might be trying it on Janiek, but all 5 of them stuck together. It suddenly turns into a 5-truck battle rather than a 3 and a 2. Jochen Hahn at the front of it. Lachko latched onto the back of Janiek. And all of a sudden, I think Antonio Albacete got a poor run out of the chicane. So down towards turns 6 and 7. He's not quite with Sascha Lenz. Championship leader obviously wants to make sure that he has damage limitation on his mind. With Norbert Kish at the very front, Sascha Lenz tries it around the outside of turn 10 on Jochen. Sticks it on the left, bit of contact, wheel-to-wheel stuff, and Lachko's trying to get past Janiek now. But Hahn is going to be on the inside with Sascha Lenz. I think there might have been a bit of a touch, maybe just a bit of a wiggle around from Sascha Lenz. They're still making contact. Jochen's pushing him off the road. Bodywork goes flying from Sascha Lenz's truck. That's not the first time we've seen that this season. He's down the inside now, but then it's going to go back to the right-hand side. Is Hahn going to be able to outbrake him? Or is he going to outbrake himself? Sascha Lenz around the outside. Lovely stuff. Absolutely lovely stuff from Sascha Lenz. Now Jochen Hahn is suddenly under attack from Antonio Albacete, but I think Lachko's down the inside of him as well. Lachko elbows out through there. He's managed to get ahead of Janiek on this lap. Can he make it 2 trucks in 1 lap? Is he going to line Albacete up for a move into the final couple of corners? He's got 2 right-handers to go through here. Big sideways moment there for Teo Calve. Look at this, Sasha Lenz already starting to disappear up the road. Lachko looking very racy and very sideways in the Freightliner. Albacete keeps a tighter line out the final corner, but he can't do anything yet. A great 4-way scrap now for 3rd place. This is the final podium spot that they want to fight for. Here's a look again. Sasha Lenz with part of the bodywork going flying after just clipping the left rear on Jochen Hahn's truck. But look at the speed that he got out of there. It was fantastic. Now Lachko's on the outside of Albacete. This is what I mentioned earlier. It puts you on the inside for the second part of the chicane. He gives Jochen Hahn a push. Is the bollard going to go flying? Yes, it is. Side by side once again. Albacete's got the wider line though, and he's got the run out of the corner. Speeding up very, very quickly, even in the wet conditions. The little Freightliner stuck in between the 2 MANs. They've got the Iveco just in front of them. Jochen Hahn's going to be watching this in his mirror thinking, thank goodness I'm not part of that. Great control by all of these drivers so far, though, considering the conditions. But some of them love these wet lines around here. Like I said earlier, there's just certain drivers that know exactly where to place their vehicle when it comes to wet weather racing. Looks like Lachko's lost a bit of time to Albacete now. He's glued to the back of Jochen Hahn, who gets a rather bit sideways through turn 12. Still 2 by 2 they go. There's what remains of the front of Sasha Lenz's truck, but he's way off up the road. But the speed that they get down there towards turn 15, it's incredible. And then they stamp on the brakes. Get the water all over the brakes to cool them. Sasha Lenz sneaking his way through. Albacete is really filling the mirrors of Jochen Hahn. He's gone around the outside of turn 16. That's the inside for turn 17. And Albacete up to 3rd place. What a fantastic move that was. He knew exactly what he wanted to do there, setting that up around the outside of turn 16. And this is one of the fantastic bits about this circuit. Like I said, it goes one way, then the other. If you set up a move around the outside of one corner, you'll be down the inside for the next if you do it right. And Albacete up into 3rd. Now Lachko is all over the back of Jochen Hahn. 6-time champion going backwards here. He's changed to the Iveco S-Way, and it doesn't seem to be suiting him at the moment. Look at the run that Lachko's got now in that Freightliner, and you can see Anthony Janiek, who wanted a podium out of this race, slotting him behind. We've got more fun back there. That was Reiner and Calve, I believe, getting argy-bargy and knocking bollards flying. And Lachko goes through. You can hear the crowd going mad about it. Lachko goes up into 4th position. Hahn now down to 5th from 2nd on the grid. Steffi Halm's not too far off the back of this fight either. But it's a 4.5 second lead for Norbert Kisch at the moment. Albacete in 3rd. Another 4.2 seconds back now from Sasha Lenz. You can hear Norbert Kisch putting his foot down hard out of turn 10. Sasha Lenz going chasing after him. It's just damage limitation for Sasha now. See the very different lines that all of these drivers are taking there. Lachko able to take a bit of a tighter line on the way out of turn 10. Now here comes Anthony Janiek. He's having a look. I imagine Jochen Hahn's mirrors are very much filled with neon yellow at the moment. It's the brightest truck in the field by a country mile. A little bit sideways out of turn 13. It's Janiek. He's got a great run though, but it's not enough to get in front of Jochen Hahn. Now, he saw what Antonio Albacete did here a lap or so ago. Through turn 15, chucks it right, chucks it left. He's not able to do what Albacete did. Further back as well, René Reiner has held off Teo Calve. There's Steffi Halm. A source of a lot of entertainment in the final race at the Hungaro Ring a few months ago. can see the field now slithering their way through turns 18 and 19. Jamie Anderson in the middle of that fight as well. Jamie currently sitting third in the chrome category. That's the thing for Theo Calve. He needs to be careful if he is going to start fighting with René Reinhardt. He doesn't want to take himself out of contention for the chrome win in this race. There's your race leader then, Norbert Kish. The gap is now down to 3 seconds to Sascha Lenz. And Janiek has got past Hahn. Janiek's overtaken Hahn, and importantly, Lachko has overtaken Albacete as well. So there's still plenty of changes going on inside the top 7. Whoa, a bit sideways there from Sascha Lenz, but he's absolutely flying at the moment. I was told that the hashtag that he has on his windscreen banner at the top there is about vehicles being towed away from incidents at the Nürburgring, which Sascha and his company is very, very much involved with. I think it's Wegelest is how you say it. I probably completely butchered that. My German is nil. Look how sideways the back end of these trucks go around that kink at turn 12, though, into the much slower turn 13. Sascha Lenz on the chase at the minute, though. Norbert Kish, it looks like he's running away, doesn't it? The body language of the truck just says, no thank you, I don't want any part of that. He's trying very hard indeed. We're not even halfway through yet. But these two are getting closer and closer together. The gap is down to 2.2 seconds through the last sector. Sascha Lenz was nearly 2 seconds quicker than Norbert Kish. It looked so far like Norbert was untouchable, but it's definitely not the case now. There you can see Lachko ahead of Albacete for third place. So Lachko starting 6th has made some great ground at his home race. Jochen Hahn has really gone backwards, unfortunately. Steffi Halm has actually got past Janiek as well. Apologies, I missed that on the timing tower there, but Steffi Halm up to 5th place. So I'm not sure what happened between Janiek and Halm. Or sorry, Hahn, but maybe contact slowing them both down. The lead gap now down to 1.8 seconds. And Albacete, well, it's definitely not 1.8 seconds between these pair, is it? Looks down the inside of Lachko all the way to the end. Lachko blocks the inside, but is that the right move to go for? Albacete backs out of it and thinks, I'd rather not at this point. Lachko using a bit of a wider line there to try and get the run on the exit of the corner. Albacete's truck dancing around on the power. Really gives you a great insight to how quickly these things accelerate. There was Steffi Halm going through. There in the white and orange truck is Steffi. Then Janiek just behind in the bright yellow machine, but no sign of Jochen Hahn. He's dropped down even further. There's no further action on the incident between the two of them, but Jochen Hahn is having a nightmare now. He's dropped down to 9th place. He's dropped down to 11th in the first sector, and even further than that, I think he's actually come into the pits as Jochen Hahn. No, he's not come into the pits, actually. He's completed the first sector. He's down to 12th. The timing tower on the left hasn't updated yet, but I can tell you from the live timing that Reinert, Brereton and Anderson have all made their way through. Theo Calve still leads the chrome category, up to 8th position overall now. But you'll see in just a moment, Jochen Hahn will disappear off that timing tower the next time they cross the line, I'm afraid. So after starting 2nd on the grid, on the front row for the first time this season, Jochen Hahn having a very tough race. I'm wondering whether something broke in the contact or potential contact with Janiek. Of course, I haven't seen the incident, so I'm not sure yet. There's René Reinhardt in the blue and green truck being chased by Shane Brereton. Jamie Anderson not too far behind them. What a great race from Steffi Halm so far, though. Started 7th on the grid, up to 5th. But Norbert Kish still leads the way, but less than 2 seconds ahead of anybody else. Lenz keeps him under pressure. The gap is still 1.8 across the line. So Norbert has definitely responded. Now here is Lachko with Albacete right behind. very close between those two. Then you've got Steffi Halm. There's Anthony Janiek roaring his way down the straight. Now Albacete just following Lachko at this point, just piling that pressure on lap after lap. You can see all the steam coming off the radiator. Don't forget that they can spray water on the radiator to cool the engine down more actively, and spray water on the brakes as well. The power that they get out of there through the long turn 4, then the little kink at turn 5. This is 6 and 7. The left is turn 6, the right is turn 7, and then they've got another right-left. It's basically a complete reverse of those two corners. Turn 8, and then they go left for turn 9, then hard on the brakes to the hairpin at turn 10. Once again, different lines going around there. Lachko keeps it tight on the exit. Albacete tries to get the run. Just lights up the rears a little bit too much. And he's not able to get the run through the left-right at 12 and 13. If they're not careful, Steffi Halm could catch up quite quickly here and try to overtake them. But this is for the last podium position. Lenz and Kish have absolutely disappeared at almost 13 seconds up the road. Albacete is right on the back of Lachko, though, as they go through 15 and 16. Through the right-hander at turn 17 now, hard on the power, trying holding up the momentum through 18 and 19. And then you've got Janiek holding on behind them. Then Andre Kurzim. Update on Jochen Hahn. He is now in the pits. Stefan Haas also in the pits as well. Sorry, Stefan Faas in the pits in 17th place on lap 3. So he didn't complete many laps there, I'm afraid. But Jochen Hahn also in the pit lane. There's Steffi Halm. 5th place at the moment. She's going really well, watching that battle up in the distance. Albacete still trying to have a go at Adam Lachko. You could see Lenz and Kish as well getting closer and closer together. The gap was half a second across the line last time. So we may see those two fighting again on our screens shortly. But this is a great chase at the moment from Antonio Albacete, the Spanish driver, chucking everything at this in the T-Sport Burnout truck. They're based here in the UK. I've been following their ventures on social media. But this is two very different trucks indeed. You've got the Freightliner just in front of Adam Lachko and the MAN of Antonio Albacete. One with the engine in the middle, behind the cab, and the other with the engine right up front with a much smaller cab. Both have their own weight distribution all down to a T. And you can see their strengths and weaknesses. It just looks like Lachko's got a bit more punch out of the corner. But Albacete really good at closing up on the brakes and carrying mid-corner speed. But he can't carry said speed when Lachko's in the way. Now there is your lead battle going through your shot on the right-hand side. Norbert Kish really under pressure now from Sascha Lenz, and he's got a couple of laps to still hold on to this, so he's not out of the woods yet. And here they are, into the final couple of corners. Sascha Lenz without that bit of bodywork on the front right, but it's not going to affect it too much. Still taking a big wide line through the final corner at turn 21, and back down the straight they go. But unlike you see in other motorsport, Sascha is dipping out of the slipstream. The slipstream doesn't really exist in these things, strangely enough. Sascha wants to just get over there to make sure his engine temperatures and everything else stays nice and cool. He doesn't want to follow in the hot air behind Norbert Kish. They do kick out a lot of hot air, but look, none of them going for the apex in that chicane at all. It's all about making sure they have a wide line to carry the speed out of the corner. Lenz pushing hard, but still not able to do it yet. The crowd's still going nuts every time Adam Lachko comes down the start-finish straight here. Air horns are plenty. And we've got a warning for track limits for number 20. That's Teo Calve. Now, he needs to be careful because he's leading the Chrome category at the moment. He's got 2 positions over Shane Brereton, who's second. They're 8th and 10th overall. And Jochen Hahn had issues with temperatures, apparently, after the contact. So that's why he's had to retire, unfortunately. That's a real shame for Jochen. I said at the start of the broadcast it'd be great to see a battle between himself and Norbert Kish, 2 drivers that have really established themselves in these trucks. It's just one of them has 6 championships to his name. Sascha Lenz, though, championship leader. He doesn't want Norbert to gain points on him here. I told you earlier it was about damage limitation. Now he might actually try and get the championship lead extended on Kish. Truck 25 may have been under investigation earlier on, which was Heinrich Clemens Hecker, but no action on that part from the stewards. So, just about to finish lap 9. Ahead onto lap 10, Norbert Kish still out in front. Oh, giving the bollard a bit of a scare there on the exit. Now, the gap last time was about half a second. I think it's gone up this time, you know. Yeah, 0.8 of a second this time as they cross the line. So Norbert Kish extending it slightly here. He's able to match Lenz at the moment. And actually Norbert Kish and Sascha Lenz both did their fastest laps of the race last time round. A lot of drivers doing that, actually. The track seems to be getting quicker and quicker as Lenz looks down the inside on the exit. Misses a gear, though, by the look of it. The truck hops, skips and jumps as he puts his foot down. And this will be the final lap of the race. So I think because we had that extra lap at the start, this will now be the final lap. So Sascha Lenz needs to get his foot down here and work on this. Norbert Kish, the only driver to go sub 2 minutes 10. Did a 2:09.981 last time round. Lenz did a 2 minutes 10.277. Again, look at these different lines. I thought Norbert Kish was going straight on for a second then, hence the change of tone. But this has been a great performance by both of these drivers. Sascha Lenz doing a great job to catch up, but Norbert Kish doing a great job to hold on and respond to the lap times that Sascha put in. It's the Hungarian leading the German at the moment. Lachko still holds on to third. He's got a decent gap now over Antonio Albacete. Through turns 15 and 16. You can hear the tyres screaming for mercy once again. It's almost a signature of truck racing. Turn 17, taking a lot quicker than you'd expect. And then the fast foot down moment through turn 18. Look at the gap these two have got. But they'll now appear into turn 20 from behind the banking. And it's still Norbert Kish in the lead. He's a lot wider through there, though. Sascha Lenz can't do anything about it. And for the 3rd time this season, Norbert Kish is going to come out of the final corner, plant his foot to the floor, and he's going to take the race win. Kish from Lenz in the first race of the weekend. Brilliant drive by the two of them. Awesome to watch. And is Lachko going to hold on for a podium at his home race? He is. Lachko ahead of Albacete. Great sparring by those two as well. A lot of fun. And is Steffi Halm going to hold on to 5th place ahead of Janiek? Only just. Steffi Halm grabs a top 5. Wow. That was incredibly close across the line. The gap between the two of them there hasn't even come up by the look of it. Less than 1/10 of a second, I can tell you that. All bollards have been, well, taken for granted, I think is the best way to describe that bollards weekend. But there is your race winner then, Norbert Kish. Fantastic performance. He disappeared at the front, came under pressure from Sascha Lenz for quite a while, as we have more close finishes across the line there. Almost knocking our cameraman over by the look of it there. That would have been Heinrich Clemens Hecker, and I believe, is that Lucas Hahn further down? It was. Tiny gap between those two as well. You can hear the horns being sounded. Norbert Kish very, very pleased with that. They show their appreciation to the marshals as well. And a lovely action-packed race to get our weekend's races underway. We have 4 of them this weekend. We still have another one for you today. And we'll be getting all of the reaction from drivers, teams, Christina, and all sorts in a few minutes. But the conditions held off as well, which was nice. But Norbert Kish takes a very, very well-deserved win. He worked very hard for that. As the marshals wave flags aplenty, Norbert will be really milking the moment and thoroughly enjoying himself. It's great to see the marshals enjoying it so much as well. We thank, of course, our fantastic marshals. Without them, we would not be able to go racing. You've got to love how high-pitched that horn sounds compared to how beefy you'd expect it to be with these trucks. But Sascha Lenz will be very, very pleased with that, because at the start of the day, when Christina spoke to Sascha, he said, I just need to take it easy. I'm not taking any risks. And you saw there, he knew that he would get decent championship points for finishing second, even if it was Norbert Kish in front of him. So it is all about that damage limitation. And a hero's welcome into the pit lane for Norbert Kish. His 3rd race win of the season out of 4 races. Sascha Lenz, the only other driver to have won a race so far. And now it's horns aplenty. And that really is a hero's welcome, isn't it? I'd love to know whose that is. You can forget your air horns in the grandstand. That's a proper horn, whoever's sounding that one. And they're still going. And you think that's coming loud through your screens and through your speakers. Imagine what it's like when you're there. And there is the number 1 board then for Norbert Kish. Doesn't give it a kish. You can see the modifications to the front end of the truck, this fantastic sort of honeycomb pattern. There's 2nd place finisher Sascha Lenz with is that active aerodynamics on the front? And then 3rd place should arrive. Oh, sneaking in is Adam Lachko in the Bagheera Racing Freightliner. Gives his team a podium as well at their home event, and of course his home event too. Teo Calve takes the honours in the chrome category. You saw him just behind. Shane Brereton 2nd in that class, and 3rd place in that class, Jamie Anderson. Sascha Lenz, though, very, very happy indeed with that one. And unsurprising, because it means that Norbert Kish is not disappearing up the road with the championship lead. It's showing us what an exciting fight it's going to be, though, between all of these drivers. You could argue that Norbert Kish so far has definitely looked the favourite. But to me, it's drivers like Sascha Lenz that can just continuously score points day in, day out, that are the ones that know exactly how to win championships and do it again and again. Norbert Kish very, very happy indeed. He's such an animated bloke. He's great. A really, really great character is Norbert Kish. Thanks his team. High fives, handshakes, hugs, and all sorts. And it's a really strong result to start their weekend. And Christina will be down there in a minute to have a quick chat with him. Thumbs up for the cameras. Another big hug as well for the media personnel. Great stuff. Really great stuff indeed. The MAN doing a smashing job at getting him across the line. And here is Christina with Norbert Kish.
Norbert, we need to go to the wall, obviously, to get all the sponsors in good shape. Time to relax a second. Congratulations for Norbert Kish. Good race between...
With Johan, what happened with Johan? You fight?
Yeah, give him no place, you know. I overtake him in the outside. I'm faster, you know. I have a better exit, and he pushed me out, you know. But then Yeah.
You see it on the TV.
Absolutely, we see it on TV, all the contestants here. Lots of discussions after the race, of course, Norbert Kirsch. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You won. Yes, but I tried to. I've got my mask on, sponsors here. So Norbert, what was like you really dominated the race in the last laps?
Yeah, in the beginning, when it was more the circuit was more wet, it was better for us. Probably we opted for a little bit too much of a rain setup, you know, like with the tires that we talked about. And you know, towards the end, Sasha was really fast and catching me quite fast, and I was struggling a little bit with the drying up circuit. But you know, it was good enough. So I'm really happy for the victory. I'm really happy for the team, and yeah, thankful for the guys for the hard work that they put in the summer, so that you know we can be here again and perform on this level. It's really nice.
And now off to the podium. Congratulations. Enjoy your moment. Back to you.
Great stuff there from Norbert. Like he said, though, their setup really favouring the wet conditions at the start of the race, and as it dried out, Sasha Lenz was right there to pile the pressure on. But there is your confirmed result. Only 0.6 of a second between the two of them across the line. Adam Lachko grabs a podium for his team, and of course at their home event. Antonio Albacete just behind him, fourth. Steffi Halm, fantastic fifth place for Steffi, just ahead of Anthony Janiak. There was all these duels going on between a number of these couples out on track. Andre Curzin finishes seventh ahead of Teo Calve and Shane Brereton in ninth place, and Rene Reiner rounds out your top 10. Behind him in 11th place was Jamie Anderson, ahead of number 22, Lucas Hahn. Then we have Heinrich Clemens Hecker in 13th, ahead of Alia Kolok and Luke Garrett. Of course, Jochen Hahn and Stefan Faas not classified at the end. It was a very, very busy one indeed. All the drivers working incredibly hard, as you saw there. And they're going to have to do that 3 more times as this weekend goes on. Certainly doesn't get any easier for them, and we have another qualifying session to go with it tomorrow. So busy is probably the easiest and quickest way to describe this weekend. But you heard it there from Sasha Lenz. He said I was quicker than Jochen Hahn, but he pushed me off around the outside. It was feisty racing, but they had a really good battle out of it. And of course, Sasha Lenz then continued and disappeared up the road. There is Adam Lachko on the podium for third place overall. And Sasha Lenz will join him second on the other side of the podium. And of course, our overall race winner for the first time today is Norbert Kish. A great character, not just in truck racing, but in motorsport all around. Norbert Kish takes his third win in a row this season out of 4 races that we've had so far. Adam Lachko there, presented with his trophy for third place. That bloke's unstoppable, apparently. And second place will go to Sasha Lenz. Lovely looking trophies as well for these. Oh. Happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us. And there you go, Norbert Kish. 3 wins on the bounce and another trophy to go in what I imagine is a rather large trophy cabinet at Norbert Kish House. He's a very, very good racer indeed.
Now please photos with Goodyear cap and trophies. Now drivers, please please change your caps.
And the drivers now changing their hats. That's just part of what we do here in the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. It confused me first time round, but yeah, the drivers all have obviously the Goodyear hats as well. And now they will spray the champagne. You can hear people shouting out, Norby, Norby, for Norbert Kish. We wait to see who gets there first. It was Adam Lachko for sure, then Norbert, and then Sasha Lenz going to be right behind. But he sprays all of the team and fans and all sorts. He wants to save that one. You've got plenty more coming up, Norbert, don't you worry. They make sure they don't soak each other because they know that they don't want the race suits to stink of champagne throughout all of the remaining races this weekend. They give each other a cheers, and next time round they'll be very, very focused on the second race of the day, which will be coming up in just a couple of hours, to be honest with you. It's not even going to be that long, I don't think. The next live stream will be at 5:15 local time, but that may be slightly delayed if some of the racing action has been pushed back. But of course, you'll be able to see when they're coming up on social media and of course across YouTube as well on the FIA European Truck Racing Championship pages and channels. What a great way to start our day with a race that was in developing conditions, and hopefully we get more of the same, to be honest, because when the conditions change like this, you never know what's going to happen. And we get the Goodyear Cup now as well for the Chrome drivers. As you hear it there, Jamie Anderson, third place, truck 33, position 3. He finished 11th overall after starting 12th on the grid. And Shane Brereton, another British driver, joins him on the podium. Second place from that very bright purple number 17 truck. And the winner of the Goodyear Cup from that race, the Frenchman, Theo Calvet. Bagheera Racing's home event, and he gets the team a class win to start off the weekend. Brilliant stuff from Theo. He'll be over the moon with that one. And I said he was young. He looks a lot younger, doesn't he, Theo Calvet? He's a real star of this championship so far. And the standings in the Goodyear Cup at the moment, he was 4 points behind Shane Brereton. So it's going to be very close indeed now. There is Shane receiving his trophy. I'd really like to see one of those trophies up close. They look fantastic, to be fair. There you go, Theo Calvet gets the gold trophy for first position in class. And we get the French national anthem. And the drivers now change their caps to the Goodyear caps. And Theo Calvet, well, his arms will be killing him if he holds them up any longer. But finishing on the top step, he will be over the moon. And champagne all round for these drivers now. Who's going to get there first? Who's going to get there first? It's never the easiest thing to do under pressure. It's Jamie Anderson just from Shane Brereton. It's like its own little championship, isn't it? Theo Calvet still going. There you go. Lovely stuff. And then everybody that stands around the podium very closely suddenly regrets it. I've been there many a time. cheers all round, guys. And a well-earned glass of champagne, I'm sure. And then we'll have the podium for the Teams Championship. This is for the highest scoring teams. Bagheera Racing in third place at their home event. And you'll have representatives from each of these teams up on the podium. And Titan Team takes the win. And they get called up one by one. There you go. A very subtle thumbs up there, but he'll be happy all the same to take that one. A fist bump either way. Oh, we nearly had that very awkward moment that I'm sure we've all had there with a fist bump that the other person thinks is a handshake. You all know you've done it. Team Low on Power, second place. And there you go, your team winners. And they will pose for pictures. And they get champagne themselves as well. I'm not sure they'll be opening it there. They'll be sharing with the team. Yep. It's definitely the order of the day. Still a bit more rain coming down. You can see a little bit of it on the camera there. So it's still not the driest of conditions out there. But that is your podium presentation then. And we'll have 3 more of those this weekend, hopefully, where we get to see the drivers receiving their trophies. And of course their teams being recognised for the hard work they do. And of course the points they score to go with it as well. And we have Christina, I've been told, with Theo Calve.
Yes, we're here. Let's find a good position for a cameraman. Oh, you smell a bit of a champagne, actually, Sean. Good job over there. Good job for you too. Congratulations. You won the Goodyear Cup first race this weekend under some heavy circumstances, weather conditions, which are, how do you describe this?
Yeah, it was quite difficult, you know, because we start with the rain, and then the track start to be dry and dry. So yeah, it was not easy. I started from the 10th position, and I grabbed the 8th position. So it's good for me because I start in pole position for next race, and I also won the Goodyear Cup. So I cannot be more happy than this.
And also you're racing for Bagheera team, and of course we're in the Czech Republic. Extra points, extra specialty.
Yeah, of course. It's our home track. We can say that. I made a bad quali. It was not bad, but I made a big mistake in the last lap, so I cannot improve more than what I had. So it was quite difficult to start 10, but I managed, and here at home to make a podium, it's really cool.
What are you aiming for? Because we've got the reverse grid right now. You're starting from pole, as you said. What are you aiming for at the second race?
Yeah, it will be intense, I think, because I'm not used to start in pole position in Europe. In France, yes, but in Europe it's not the same level. So we will see, but I'm quite confident.
Okay. Thank you very much. Enjoy your time now. And I hope you, the audience, you enjoyed watching us here live on social media and on YouTube. That was it. The rain is starting finally here in the pit lane for me as well. It's been a ride, yes, and I would say the last word maybe epic, as Norbert Kisch saying in the intro. So we see you ahead of race 2. Until then, stay safe.
So we have a quick look back then at the action. Everybody got underway under yellow flags, of course, with the conditions being as difficult as they were. Yellow flag for the first lap with no overtaking, just to get drivers into their rhythm. It certainly caught me off guard. But you could see the amount of spray that was being kicked up, trucks sideways out of corners. But Norbert Kish led us away with the field trying to catch up from then on. Jochen Hahn would start a brilliant battle with Sascha Lenz, where the two of them would have contact after contact, unfortunately, but part of hard racing, isn't it, really? Norbert Kish disappearing up the road, but then everybody started to just pile the pressure on Jochen Hahn. He held off as long as he could, especially through the very twisty sections here at the chicane. Sascha Lenz trying it around the outside with bits of contact, bits of bodywork going flying and all over the shop. As you see there, body panels being avoided by other drivers, but a beautiful move around the outside of turn 15 turned into an overtaking move down the inside of turn 16. Jochen Hahn then had other drivers queuing up behind to try and have a go. Antonio Albacete was going to be the first of them. Adam Lachko and Anthony Janiak in very hot pursuit. Antonio Albacete would do almost what Sascha Lenz did, round the outside of turn 16 this time, down the inside of turn 17, leaving Lachko ready to come through as well. But Norbert Kish was not out in front completely undisturbed. Sascha Lenz managed to catch back up after what was a very, very hard-fought run away from Hahn and the rest of the pack. Steffi Halm managed to make it up into 5th position, overtaking the likes of Janiak and Hahn, after they had a slight coming together, apparently. And then the battle would begin between Antonio Albacete and Adam Lachko, the two of them showing the strengths and weaknesses of their two trucks. The very beefy man chasing down the very agile and slipstreamed Freightliner number 55. Sascha Lenz tried everything he could to get closer and closer to Norbert Kish towards the end in the closing laps, but ultimately it would prove to not be enough, and Norbert Kish would take his 3rd race win in a row. Sascha did try absolutely everything though, at some points even having a look down the inside on corner exit, but missing gears and not getting the run that he wanted ultimately meant he dropped back to nearly a second behind. But Kish was the race winner for the 3rd time this season. Sascha Lenz very much all over the back of him to try and limit the damage done in the championship. We have the reverse grid race coming up for you in a couple of hours' time. Of course, the top 8 will be reversed, so keep your eye on Sascha Lenz and, of course, Norbert Kish to see how they get on. And this man as well, Adam Lachko. It's his home race here and the team Bagheera Racing's home race. So we'll be very excited to see how they do. Norbert Kish, though, an incredibly happy man. But thank you very much, everybody, for joining us for this one. We will see you for race 2 a little bit later on this afternoon. Have a good one.